I have with me two fabulous mothers here, very empowered women with whom I will be having a discussion. It is a discussion about women, their lives, mothers, and children with special needs, autism.
I've never had COVID before. This was in the third wave. I contracted COVID in the hospital. I was then put into the COVID ward, stressed, thinking I'm going to lose my life and I have kids at home. The stress was a lot. Once my period of waiting was done in COVID ward, I just thought to them, I want to go back home. Like, if I have to die, I want to die with my kids. Excuse me.
And you speak about the positivity because it's very easy to talk about negatives.
Yeah, so
and most of the groups
those,
you talk about negatives, but it's very difficult to hold on to that positivity.
Yeah.
You have a car lying there and it's dead. Put in an engine, it's not going to move itself. You need a driver. Now, a parent is that driver. It needs to move that child. Parents, please, if anything you can take after going home, when you do stem cells, the doctors tell you clearly you need therapy, you need constant reinforcement, rehabilitation. Please focus more on that, especially at home.
Parents, I always say that we are not advertising for NeuroGen, we are advertising for the frustrated parents. There is hope.
If you don't try, you're not going to get the results. Be constant about it.
It's your blessings and your prayers so that we can continue to help more and more children is all that we need, and the support. And speak out. I can speak out more. Speak out about, what's possible. Bill Gates talks about he was not diagnosed, but he has all the features even now of autism, and look at what he's done. Elon Musk and what he's done. Temple Grandin. So there are so many individuals. We want all our children to be that.
I always say when I discuss y'all, even when we meet y'all, you're like angelic. God put angels on earth for us, for these angels to guide them, to help them, and I don't think any thanks in this world would match up to what y'all deserve.
Hi, good evening all. I'm Dr. Nandini, and I have with me two fabulous mothers here, very empowered women with whom I will be having a discussion. It is a discussion about women, their lives, mothers, and children with special needs, autism. These are two super women who both have children on the spectrum. And how did they cope with having children with autism? What have they done to empower themselves and their children and their family? This discussion is all about them, and I will just be here to facilitate. I want more and more people to know how they are living their life and ensuring that each movement is positive, and how it has helped their children to become better individuals. So here I have with me Genevieve from South Africa, and I have Rosamund from US. So Genevieve, please tell us something about yourself as Genevieve.
Okay, so I'm Genevieve Naidu. I'm from South Africa. I became a mother very early at 17. I have a 17-year-old boy, I have an 11-year-old boy, and I have my wonderful 3.5 Warren Naidu, who is on the spectrum.
Great. And so which part of South Africa are you in?
We live in Durban.
Durban.
Yes.
So how is life in Durban?
It's very comfortable, very comfortable. I'm sure you heard from the last time that we were here in October. The beach is lovely, the atmosphere, the weather, the people. We do have a few, like crime is a bit high. That doesn't stop us from doing whatever we need to do, driving around as mothers to get our children to therapy, with the fear of things happening. Other than that, it's a beautiful place.
I have been to Durban, and I think it's called as Mini India, isn't it? Lot of
Lots of Indians, yes.
And a big part of our history of India starts from Durban.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually brought a book for one of my friends on our history of our descendants.
Yeah. So Mahatma Gandhi has one of his initial residences in Durban. I've gone to see that residence. So great, welcome to India once again. And we have, of course, Rosamund here from US. Which part of the US?
So I am in Connecticut, US. A suburb called Hamden, where Yale University is located. Yale University, I hope you've heard about it. And I'm a mom of 4 boys. I have 4 boys under 6. So I have 6, 4. I have 3, and I have a baby, 10 months old.
Wow.
So Kobe is on the spectrum. Kabna is on the spectrum, and he is the reason why I know Navi Mumbai, you know. So
yes, all the way from Connecticut to Navi Mumbai.
Yeah, I'm a substitute teacher, you know, back home in Ghana. I am a Ghanaian, I'm from Ghana, and we relocated to the United States. So back in Ghana, I was teaching in a secondary school, but you know, when you move, you have to start all afresh. So because I want to know what goes on in the school system in the United States, and to know what exactly goes on with our special kids and how they help them being on the spectrum, I decided to still go back to the teaching field. And I happened to even find myself in my son's school. So I know exactly what they do and how they are helping them. So that's the
So Kwabena is the oldest one.
He's the
And
oldest.
when did you shift from Ghana to US?
So when I completed the university, I got married to my husband. I got pregnant, so I delivered Kobe in Ghana. So Kobe is a Ghanaian. And you know, the pregnancy wasn't smooth, especially for delivery. I went on labor for like 2 weeks. I wanted them to have a C-section for them to give my baby to me. Every day when they come, they would say, oh, you are full, but the service is not open, you are full. Not knowing it would end me up here, like it will affect the child. So when I delivered a year and a half, we came to the United States. And the sad news was we were the last plane to come from 2020 to come from what do we call British Logan to Heathrow. Heathrow to JFK, and they shut down the airspace. So you could imagine a year-old child who doesn't go out, mingle with kids, and he was just declining. And I didn't know the developmental process in which a child should, the milestone he's supposed to get before he could probably say mommy or daddy. So we were just around, like we were just there, and we didn't know it was going to just drag things down. So the first time we went for his 1.5 appointment, the doctor was like, oh, because you have relocated, and he was listening to different language, and now it's English, the talking is going to delay a little bit. So when he said that, we relaxed, because at 1.5, he wasn't saying mommy, neither was he saying daddy. We relaxed. So the 2 years, we started feeling that, why is he not saying anything? And we also attributed it to the COVID-19 because we were not going anywhere to even see people or kids for him to play with. So when it happens like that, on the second birthday, 2.5, and we opted that they should do something about it. So we had this program they called Birth to 3. It's from birth to 3 years. Those people will come home to come and help in their developmental process. It helped, but it didn't.
It's interesting that you say, so you had a prolonged labor, one. So the delivery was difficult. And then when the formative years, when Pavana should get a lot of social interaction, he got caught in COVID. And that's the story of many children. What about Warren? What happened?
So, funny to hear that these pregnancies could cause the autism. I also had a very complicated pregnancy. So when I conceived, I knew when I conceived, and we kept checking, and the doctor says, no, you conceived 2 weeks later. And like, how is that possible? Because the pregnancy is now dated back 2 weeks later. So at a certain point in my pregnancy, we found out that I had a single umbilical artery. I was really stressed. You can't even believe. I was just very stressed, secretly hoping, for everything to be okay. And then later on at 28 weeks, we find out, I started like discharging fluid and getting like some dull pain. So I immediately went to my gynae. We'd gone to the hospital, and they confirmed that I had a ruptured preterm ruptured membrane. I know the abbreviation is PROMD. So they had kept me in the hospital. This was during COVID time. Yeah, COVID. And they said that I will stay there for the duration of the pregnancy, like till I give birth. And I've never had COVID before. This was in the third wave. I contracted COVID in the hospital. I was then put into the COVID ward, treated on lots of blood thinners and zinc and some other medications that I don't even know of. Stressed, thinking I'm going to lose my life, and I have kids at home. The stress was a lot. So once my period of waiting was done in the COVID ward, I just fought to them, I want to go back home. Like, if I have to die, I want to die with my kids. Excuse me. I went home and I was there for like 3 weeks. At 36 weeks, the gynecologist said it would be best to deliver because I had intrauterine growth restriction. So we agreed. I went back and I delivered, and I was expecting to find an abnormal looking baby because of all that I've been through. And he was so perfect. He was so perfect. He was born at not very far from my other 2 kids. And he was not intubated. He didn't need oxygen. He didn't need anything. The only thing I noticed different about him, but he was smaller than the other kids there, was that he was overfeeding. The other kids would get full on a 25 ml formula, and he just wanted more and wanted more. And then they told me, no, it's his size, he requires more. And then later on, we noticed he was not sleeping. As he grew a bit older, we noticed there was no sleep for us. Sleep was non-existent in our household. Our stress levels, our depression, anger, everything was at the roof. And when people were coming and telling me, when I asked them, how's your grandchild? They're like, no, we're just preparing for that stage now. The baby is getting to the point where they'll sleep through the night. And I'm like, it's 3 years. I haven't been, I don't know what you're even saying, because when is that going to be my chance? My boy didn't hit that milestone. We noticed a delay in the words. There were a few words. I feel like they've lessened after 18 months. I was very concerned. So, from the time he was 6, I kept on taking myself to his ped and bringing concerns. What if he's autistic? What if he's autistic? I'm seeing this and I'm seeing that. So I noticed very young. And they said, no, don't stress. I said, no, if he's autistic, I don't want to give him the 18-month injection. They're like, no, it doesn't have anything to do with that. Just give it to him. I gave it to him. And then I noticed everything. He started declining. His words were fewer. He was so fixated on cartoon programs, the phone, and he didn't want to eat food, and I felt like I was such a bad mother, because the one thing I'm supposed to do is care for a child, feed the child who can't feed himself. And he wasn't allowing us to give him the food that he needed. So remember, at 6 months, they eat purity.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids, they prefer certain flavors to others. That's normal. That's deemed normal. But then he ate that, and then I started preparing meals, fresh, steamed, boiled vegetables. I started incorporating some texture like chicken and rice, and then he stopped completely. And I would cry because I don't know what to feed this child. He needs nutrition. And I would really hold it against myself that, look, I'm a bad parent. And then eventually I got used to the fact, and I decided, let me give him only what he wants, as long as he eats. And it became a norm. We got used to it. So he's a picky eater. He's extremely picky. It's difficult being in another country and you don't know still what to feed your child. But, you know, a lot has changed since our first shot.
We'll come to that. But
And I'm very happy.
We'll come to that because
Tears
first
of joy, yeah.
Yes. So this is interesting. So you are a mother who already had experienced 2 childbirths, and you knew how a child needs to be and how the child needs to develop, and possibly that's why you picked up the difference earlier.
Yes.
You picked up the awareness that something is different, and possibly, so you knew about autism beforehand, is it? Because most parents don't know. You must not have heard about autism before.
The funny part was I learned autism, Mongolism, Down syndrome in the university, but I was like, this is not my portion, and I don't want to even know much about it. So I was naive, like, what is autism? And let me come in with this. When the birth to 3 people came around, they were like, oh, let's diagnose him with autism. I was like, what is autism? So I went to read about it. Okay, let me give them a chance. Probably they might give me resources that will help the child. So if they test him and it's positive, then we know what to do. If not, I don't have anything to lose. So they came and it was COVID. No in-person, nothing. So we put on laptop and they were like, oh, show the ball. We do. Catch it. Does he laugh? And so pile of questions, like 1,000 questions. They would ask, and later on they told us, okay, we'll get back to you. They called on Zoom again and they were like, looking at this, looking at that, doing this, doing this, doing this. I'm sorry to say that your child is autistic. I was like, why look at my boy, like a chubby fresh boy. Why would you say? And I was affiliating it to Down syndrome because those people, you see it with their facial, like their facial differences. And I was like, why would you even tell me my child is autistic?
Normal looking child.
And I was a caregiver at that time. Dog, I'll go to work, I'll sit there, be on my phone. I can read like 4 hours because when you read, it takes you to a different one. When you read, it takes you to know what is autism and how it's going to be treated. So what I was asking them was, so will my son talk? What they will say is, it's a whole spectrum and it's different. So I wasn't getting answers to my questions and I became mad. Like, I became so sad. Why am I not getting? I just want someone to tell me, oh, your son can talk or your son cannot talk. Then I psych my mind to that direction. But I wasn't getting answers. And I read and read and read. I was seeing this, oh, so this will help them, occupational therapy, speech therapy, this. And we were having all these. These people were coming home 30 minutes for 2 days. I was like, I want 1 hour for 5 days. They gave me, because we had, the state was sponsoring it. They gave me, but still I wasn't seeing any improvement. He'll be lining up toys. He wasn't even potty trained at 2.5 years. But for the potty training, I was so hard on him. I was so hard. I'm an African mom, doctor. So I was so hard on him. When he does that, I will show him the African side. And he was able to adjust. But after getting those things at 3 years, then he has to go to school. He started the 4-hour school. He goes, and anytime he comes home, like shading, there was nothing going on, and it was just 4 hours. And for the school system, the 4 hours is like playtime. This time, it wasn't any achievable goal. Then we were there, and I was reading about it, and I saw stem cell therapy, but I didn't know it was anything related to. I thought it was occupational therapy and the speech therapy that the person will go and sit there. So I even brushed it off. I didn't want to even know much about it, and that's how it is.
So how long did this go on? So he got diagnosed at the age of...
He got diagnosed at the age of 23 months. 23 months that we find out he was on the spectrum, and we started getting those therapies. And he proceeded to the school, and since we were not raised there, we don't know the school system, and they will come and present it to you very nicely, but the issue is it attainable? Are they attaining it? I don't know.
So what kind of... So you are in the US, you went from Ghana to the US. So what is your experience of the school system? How supportive is it there?
So now I am in the school system. It's better. You know, it's better. Probably when we get there, we will come back, and I have an idea. Probably I will have to share with other parents for them to know what is also going on there. Yeah.
So how to use the school system the best way? Is something
so
each parent
the school system in the US is very good. We have classes, and we, the immigrants, they will come and present to you, then you accept it because you don't know. So when Kobe was going to kindergarten, from pre-K for the 4 hours, from pre-K in the United States, starts school at 5. But if your child is special, he starts at 3, so that he gets to know and transition to the kindergarten. So when it was that time, all this while, not knowing he was in a special class. And I didn't know anything about it because I wasn't interested, or I don't know how to put it. He was in a special class. So my sister-in-law is a teacher in the US, and he has also a special child, but now the son is okay. But we went to visit him, and he was like, which class is Kobe in special class? And I said, I don't know. He was like, check. Dog, not knowing he was in a special class. And the behaviors those kids were behaving, he was portraying the same thing at home.
He picked up those behaviors.
He picked up and add more to it. Kobe was spitting. Kobe was playing tantrums. Kobe was a mess. Like, Kobe can put your life into hell. Dog, when I show you a couple of things he did before coming here, it's a marvel you'll be surprised. He spoils things, he opened the fridge, bring everything out. Very hyperactive. Cube. I'll put hyperactive in. Yeah. So when the IEP, they have individual educational plan, when the time came, we invited my sister-in-law, and they came to present the same thing they will always present. Oh, so Kobe is this, and they will tell you the good side before they will come and tell you what they are doing to help. So they were like, he is good at this, he's good at it, but looking at the situation, he has to go to his home school. And in the US, every child goes to the community school. So he can't go to a different community. Like, even Hamden, we have 6 elementary school, and those situated within the zip code, that's where you have to go until special incident. So they told me, so we will take him to a self-contained class that consists with 6 kids. then we will have time for him. And I was happy because I thought they were going to give him the treat. Why are they treating my son so special? That means he's special. But though, what I want to tell other parents is kids learn from their peers.
Yes.
We have kids that are so special that you can't do anything about it than to place them in that classroom. But if you brought your child here and you want to get some goals for him to attend, don't accept that class because I'm a substitute teacher. I am in the school. Those kids are so hyperactive. They learn from the other kids. They distract the class. They make the class so that nothing goes on. A teacher doesn't stand on the board to cheat the whole class. They give it individually. So if it is maths at 2 p.m. to 2:30 that we have to teach maths, a child will be doing English because he didn't do the maths or he didn't cooperate while they were doing those things. So individually. And when they told me that, I was like, because my sister-in-law was there, I was like, okay. And he was like, no, we don't want that class for him. We want him to be in a regular class with a parental. And it's they call something co-taught. The co-taught class is a regular teacher with a special ed teacher with parallels. And the parallels are individual, like grown-up, they are not teachers, but supportive teachers assistant that they support individual kids. And what goes on is with the co-taught, they bring like good regular 10 kids that are normal kids, then like back up with developmental delay kids, so that they mingle with them with a special teacher there with the supportive. So you could see that those classes you would have like 5 or 6 adults. That means those individuals have to get individual teachers that will prompt them. Probably when they give them a task, they will help them because they lack attention deficit, like they have attention deficits and those kind of things. So they will help them to focus. And dog, when I accepted that class, to the glory of God, Kobe was doing so well. Because now he doesn't play the tantrums because he doesn't see anyone playing those tantrums. Now he knows that when he's been given a task, all of them are doing. So he has to also sit and do. He follow regular schedule as a child is supposed to, because he disturbs a lot. Kobe disturbs. I'm in his school, so I know what he does. Doc, do you know that the first time I went to the school, I heard, no, mommy, he was like, no, Miss Carolyn or something, the teacher's name. This is so scary. No, he was crying, and I was like, why is he crying? Not knowing that his disability is that when he knows something and he raises his hand and he's not being called, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yes,
He doesn't understand turns. It's not your turn. So that was a problem for him. And sometimes before getting into that school, they would call and say, oh, Kobe had a rough day, but they would not give the details. So I was naive about him being cry. You can't cry in the house. But because the school system, no hands-on, no teacher touches a student, no student touches a teacher, no student touches a student. So they will be like, oh, Kobe, no, calm down. Then, they'll be pampering him so he can do whatever he wants.
So
and dog, you know that autism is different from misbehavior. So Kobe is doing well in that class. He is doing so well. So what I want to tell other parents, especially in the United States, if your child is getting closer to okay, don't allow them to put them in that class because it will drag him down.
What is your experience in South Africa? Like, what kind of support did you get for Warren?
So Warren was diagnosed at 2.6 years old. We started immediately with resourcing like OT, speech therapy, and it's a long process. You know, you've got to go to like 2 or 3 assessments before they even take you on. A neurodevelopmental pediatrician, she's got like a waiting period of like 2 months. So I started the process immediately before I even got to the pediatrician. Eventually we were taken on. Nothing is covered by insurance or medical aid in South Africa when it comes to autism. It's not recognized as a disability. So we put everything we had in it. We took him for his therapies. Prior to him being diagnosed at 2.6, at 2 years and 2 months, I went to a Montessori and I spoke to the owner and I said, you know what, I feel my child has some learning difficulties. I brought it to the attention of his pediatrician and they said I need to just wait because he's a boy and boys are delayed. So please help me. Maybe at home we've got bigger boys and there's no kids around his age for him to socialize. So maybe let me sit with him or something, you know. So the November of that year, I took him. We sat in class and then I noticed, no, he wants to do things, but he's attached to me. So then the next year in Jan, I started sending him alone. So, you know, the first week of school, the child's crying and everything. It was so pulling at your heartstrings, you know. But I had to let him grow up at that age. It was a first for me to let my child go into like somebody else's care because I've cared for my other 2 all by myself and not be present. But anyways, I started sitting outside in my van and waiting for him. So then eventually I got comfortable because he calmed down. He was happy where he was. He would stay the entire day for 4 hours and come home and like, you know, like cooperate with the teacher. So I didn't know this term, but we found out it was masking. So he was like a neurotypical child at school. This regular Montessori school, not a special needs or anything. And when he came home, he couldn't handle it. He just let go. He was absolutely hyperactive and all of that. But the Montessori really calmed him down till we started the OT and speech and all of that, their system, what we learned from them, what we took home. It made sense and we were able to work together. We got him to cooperate with certain things, but he could not communicate. So we got him to cooperate with his educator, but he could not have a conversation. He could not, you had to physically take his face to look at you. Like you'll say, Warren, 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 and nothing. Until you go in front of him and like, Warren. And he would only scream. That was his communication. It was this scream. He never used to use like many gestures to show us what he wanted. And how stressful it is. You don't know when your child wants to eat, when he needs to be changed, when he's thirsty. If you don't know, then he can stay hungry for the whole day because he's not communicating that to you. So you gotta be constantly on the ball with him. And then so eventually we got him into OT. We figured that it helps to a certain point, but then what you learn there is only half an hour. And then the most important thing is what you do at home. Because how many hours do you have with the child at home? And I always use this, my way of thinking. If I'm ill, I can go to a doctor. But I cannot take that doctor back home to look after me. Everything is on me. So I got to go there, learn what I have to do, and go back home and do it myself. So, like, we've got good therapy. I am absolutely happy with Warren's therapist that he's had from the day one. They've not changed. Yeah, they've not changed, and they gelled with him so well. He loves them. He used to be so anxious to go. He used to throw tantrums waiting outside because he couldn't wait. And now he knows. He understands how to wait. He understands most things now. We'll speak about that later on.
Yes. Yes. So, you came to us when Pavana was how old?
Is it 4 years, 3 months?
4 years, 3 months. Not too long after he was diagnosed,
Yeah.
or 2 years after he was diagnosed.
So the issue is, I'm thankful for social media, because if not social media, I wouldn't be here. Let me tell you what happened and how people will discourage you. It's very, very important. Sometimes you don't have to talk much to people when you want to take those at friendship, because it will be like, oh, do I have to go? Do I have to stay back? But you have your child and you know what you are going through. Though a time came, I was depressed because of what Kobe was doing. He didn't understand anything. He can worry you. And the sleeping pattern was an issue too. Kobe can sleep at 11 and wake up at 3 p.m. like a.m.
Ready to play.
Time. He wouldn't sleep well. He would be crying with no reason because he's not able to communicate. So one day I was scrolling through TikTok and I got to these social media people. They always want to interview people to get followers. He's a Ghanaian too. When I got there, what I could hear was, oh, so now my son can say, Mommy, my son is okay. I stopped because social media, TikTok was said that now I'm not on that platform again because it takes so much time. By the time you say Jack, you spend like 4 hours on it. And I stopped and I started testing them. So what are you talking about? Because it was an ending program. Because he was saying, so now my son can do this, can do it. He was ending the program. I tested her like on the platform and he said, what are you talking about? And she responded, autism. Can I get your number? She was like, okay. As soon as they ended the program, I called. And that is Joyce in Connecticut. I called her and she was like, why, do you have a special child? And I said, like, yes. The date was 31st August. I would never forget this date. 31st August 2023. I said, yes, I have a special child. He has been diagnosed with autism. And he was like, okay, so where did you go? What are you talking about? Where have you been that you said your child is okay? She was like, India. Hey, India. Why would I travel from America to India? So what is it about? Said, okay, I will send you videos. So she sent me all the videos. Dog, I couldn't sleep because of anxiety or I don't know, overwhelm or happiness. I won't know where to put it back. All what I was thinking is, oh, now there is a solution. Because they said there isn't any solution aside speech therapy and those therapies. And what someone told me was, this is not something you just get the blood and go and see if it's really autism or not. So there is no cure. Now there is cure. Someone says she has a testimony. Okay, so I started communicating with the lady. I went to tell my husband. My husband is a darling, but sometimes you have to drag them. He never doubted it. He never doubted it. Erica felt like he's a loving husband, you know. He was like, oh, when you go and bring financial something like those statements. He said, Eric, okay. I asked Joyce, so how much will it cost? He said, I don't know. I'll give you their number. So I called, is it Larissa? I called her and she sent me all what I need. Said, Eric, said, this is how much it's going to cost. Can I bring half so that you bring half? He was like, okay. Him saying, okay, for me to even pay everything out of pocket, I will be okay, because most people will not even agree with you. How much, like traveling from here to India? What if it's a scam? You know? He was like, okay, then when you bring half, I bring half. We keep our monies together, but you know, when you bring half, I bring half, then I'll have the plane ticket for you. I say, okay, if you get a plane ticket from, then I will handle the feeding. How long are we going to stay? 2 weeks. Okay. So we decided, not knowing my passport was that I have to renew my passport. I was calling, hey, I have to go to New York. But the saddest day was, I have scheduled to come on 29th October, just 2 months. And I was pregnant. I was first trimester pregnant. So I was having those early pregnancy symptoms. And I said I will come. Because if I stayed long, that means I have to deliver. And what they told me was, if the child is below 5, it's magical. Like, that's what I was told. Said, okay, I'll go. I have to go and renew my passport. I have 2 boys already at that time, plus Kobe. Kobe had gone to school. Then I have to take Uber from Connecticut to New York. I went to New York. My husband should take Kobe from the bus. He was like, because he didn't want me to go, he was like, he works from home. He's a cybersecurity. He was like, I have a meeting at 4. I was like, Eric, so the meeting, you said you have a meeting at 4. So taking Kobe from the gates is a problem. So I have to stay home the whole day, not going to renew my passport, since you know that I have just 1 week to go to India and I don't have passport. I won't be angry. And it's not because of this I'm going to say, okay, I'll not go. I'm going. Whatever you do, I don't care. I took this kid Uber to New York because it was too busy at Times Square. I don't know there for me to drive there. So I took them. We went. They was like, oh, you don't have an appointment. What I'm saying is, things will drag you down. But what can you do to overcome those things? That's why I'm just talking too much. He was like, oh, you don't have an appointment. I said, this is my invitation letter, everything. Can you give me the visa, can you do the passport for me? Okay, since you have this, and I happened to meet this guy, he was Isaac. I'm so thankful to him because look, I had just 1 week. I went there on Tuesday. The passport came on Thursday. I had it on Friday, and thanks be to India e-visa. I had the visa. We had the ticket on Monday, and we left on Friday. And the transitioning was also an issue. Let me go back a little bit, back forward or fast forward, back forward. When I heard about this overjoy, I had an auntie in the US. I told her, Mama, this is what I've heard. I said, okay. My local name is Akosia. Akosia, go for it, because Kobe is so much. We can't handle him. So if there is a solution, go for it. I was like, okay. So I have one support. And my husband is also supporting me. Okay. I was there and she called back. Do you know that it's illegal? Have you talked to his doctors, his pediatrician? Do you know that you can't do that? I was like, Mama, hold on. If you want to encourage me, don't discourage me. He is my son, and I decide on what to do to him. All what I'm praying is, if I go and it doesn't solve, I don't want to add anything to it. Probably it's going to be a spinal cord issue. It can cause, what do we call it? He can paralyze or some. What I'm praying is it doesn't go to that extent. But even if I go and spend everything I have and it doesn't work, that's fine. I want to try. Because if I stay back and I know something is there and I don't give a try and the child goes, even my conscience will always deal with me. And I won't allow you to go. And I said, hey, hold on. But dog, I wanted to even cut her off. But, you know, she is going to take care of my other two before I can come here. So I was just handling her like an egg so that I will get my way through. I had this, we came here. Dog, Tuesday they did it. On Wednesday morning, Kobe got up, room 7. Mommy, teeth. He went to get his brush, toothpaste, brush his teeth all by himself.
Wow.
I could hear a phone call. My auntie called. Have you seen any improvements? I said no. Why would you ask me this time? But I was handling him like I was handling her as an egg because my kids are with her. I didn't talk much with her. Kobe brushed his teeth. Kobe was a little calm. Fast forward, we did all the therapies, but when we were returning home, when we transited, like we did a transit, we went to Kuwait. So when we were checking in, the first word he could say was, "See you later," which is the person who was checking up. I said, Kobe, so can you say that? And we went home. So we got to the US on Sunday. On Monday, he's supposed to go to school. We dressed him up. She went downstairs. And the daddy was saying, Kobe. Yes, daddy, I'm coming. I was so overwhelmed, dog. Like, Kobe, I'm coming. And from there, it's history, dog.
We'll listen to the history. Let me pause you for a second. So, the take home from your struggle is that if you want something really bad, the universe gives it to you. You need to want it very badly. Yeah. So, what about your experience?
I must agree with that because we really wanted it. Thankfully, my husband, he was on the same page as me from the get-go. He funded everything because he's the sole supporter.
How did you come to know about
So, we have a family member that has an autistic child as well. So when we found out, I started doing a lot of research. Maybe they won't remember, but I was doing a lot of research and I came across a lady, I'm not sure if she's from Kenya, with triplets, triplet boys.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, I can't believe this. You know, it really seemed, it sold, you know. I knew that there was no cure. We stuck with this forever. And I said, no, at least let them try. So we brought it to some, some way to get it to them. And then some other person spoke to them. They went to see someone who had been here. And they came. So that's how we knew about it, is I researched. And I saw that the mum with the triplet boys.
So that is before Warren was diagnosed?
Before he was even conceived. Okay. This was like 7 COVID time. So it was the fib of COVID.
So you had seen someone already treated in your family?
In my family.
Oh, so that means because your family friend had an autistic child, that was why you were doing those researches?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, see you.
So I'm very hands-on, like when it comes to helping people.
Yeah.
Always. You can be a total outsider, but I try to help as much as I can. Even if it means me losing sleep over it. Like sometimes I really trouble myself over things, like just to help someone. So, yeah.
It's leave an indelible mark in their heart.
So that those 3 boys like made a dent in my heart even before my Warren was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so family support, how important is that in this whole journey? Not just the stem cells, but
In this whole
everything.
journey, it's really important. So it's myself, my husband, my 3 boys, and mostly my helpers, my employees, my brother mainly. He plays the biggest role. Like, he's my backbone when it comes to Warren, you know. He's with me from 6 in the morning till 8, 9 in the evening, and then he goes home, and he's got a family too, but he helps me. So he traveled with me for the first time to India in October. He's here again.
Yeah,
He's here again this time, along with my husband and my 11-year-old. And Warren was woken up after the first stem cell, so we couldn't leave the dad behind because now he was away. So therefore the dad is here. Family support is everything. Even if it's a small family. But besides the support is, we all have to be on the same page. Because as you said, autism, it's, you know, you got to be stern.
Yeah.
And that's how we bring him up, in a very, very stern way. People may not like it, but we have to. So there was a point where the dad was not on the same page with us. And if Warren does something, so the dad will find it funny. And I was like, you know, everything just drops in you. You're like, you know what? Be on the same page, otherwise I'm just going to give up. What I've worked so hard to get him to here, that one expression of you finding something funny would take him back months and weeks that I've worked. So if you're not going to be on the same page, man, I'm giving up. And he's on the same page now.
Yeah.
The whole household, as I'm saying, my employees, my brother, we all work together.
Isn't that true for any kind of parenting? Isn't it? Like,
It is.
If you have to bring up a neurotypical
well,
child, you have to be on the same page.
I think the child is as ill as you treat them. Treat them neurotypically. Say no. You know, stop them from doing things.
Yeah.
Give them a shot if you have to. It's illegal in our country, but, you know.
Oh.
So I still do the old-fashioned parenting. Yes, and I feel like the amount of progress we've got with Warren now is all because of how we parent him after the stem cells. Because yes, as I said, the doctors can only do so much.
Right.
They've opened up a path for us.
Yeah.
How we travel along that path is how that child is molded.
Depends on us.
So you brought Warren when he was 2 years and
I brought him when he turned 3.
3. So
So the month that he turned 3.
3.
Wow.
So tell me about what happened
Oh,
after the cell therapy.
you want me to cry?
I want you to
Okay, I'm not
describe
going to cry.
years of joy.
I cried because I am so excited. I want everybody to know. People look at me and they say I'm mad. They say I'm mad because something can't work like this. There's people that I know that have been for it as well. My Warren's therapist, the owner of the therapy center, said, you know what? They had a few patients that went for it and they didn't see such extravagant results as the money you'll be paying. And I was like, listen, no money in the world is going to stop me from trying. Because I don't want, in a couple of years' time, those children that went now said, oh, but this treatment only kicked in like 5-6 years after, and I lost that. I don't want to regret. I mean, you know, we think of all different things. When people are bringing us down, how strong must we be to pick ourselves up? We can carry people, but to pick ourselves up, we must be really, really strong here. So Warren came for his treatment after all the negativity and everything. But my husband was on the same page immediately. I said, hey, we're going to go. I made my mind up. We're going. So I don't know if you believe in psychic mediums, but as somebody visited a psychic medium the day and they were like, oh, you're going to go? I see you traveling overseas in 2 months. And the same time I phoned that person and I said, you know what, I made my mind up. I'm going. And I booked all these therapists, and I said, you know what, I want extra therapy. When I come back, it just needs to be therapy. They said, no, you need to tell me exactly when. I said, just put it for October. And that was in August that this, I made my mind up, and the person was at the medium at the same time and said, you're going overseas in 2 months. I got a hold of Sunita. I said, hi, my name is so-and-so. When's your earliest availability? She gave me a date. Unfortunately, that was in September. That's my 11-year-old's birthday, my mother-in-law's birthday, my husband's birthday. Most importantly, it's my brother-in-law's death day, and we do prayers for him. And then Warren turns 3 on the 1st of October. So that was August, September, October. She gave me September, right? And that was 1 month. So I said, okay, what's your next availability? Because I can't make it for those months. And then she gave me the 8th, 1 week after Warren's birthday. I was like, no, I don't want to take the child for his birthday to be sick. And then little did we remember that psychic medium said we're going overseas in 2 months. And that was exactly 2 months. August, September, October. So anyways, when we came, we were excited, anxious, very anxious firstly. Obviously, we have never been to India. And it was scary coming all the way without my husband, with my brother, my very younger brother, and with a hyperactive, a child who doesn't understand. People on the plane are going to look. So we came to India, and we did the blood work, we did the scans, very stressful, like to go travel in a place you haven't been to before, and then go there early in the morning and then get transported to another hospital. All worth it though. Got back, we were very tired and exhausted. Tired. And the next day we did the stem cells very, very early in the morning. I think it must have been around 5. And then we got back to the room. It took about 15 minutes. We got back to the room. I think we had a bit of sleep because we were so tired, and Warren was sedated. After about 5 hours, we went back to theatre. Warren came out. He was sedated again. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know whether he's going to be sick. We didn't know whether he's going to be, there's going to be any complications, but he's sleeping. He's got to sleep. But he only slept for half an hour. He woke up and it was like someone gave him narcotics. His eyes were like, Mummy.
Really?
Call Wawa. Wawa is one of my garden boys. No, I want Wawa. I want Daddy. First time in 3 years. I heard my child calling me Mommy and addressing his father as Daddy. And looking at me, because Warren would look at you prior to that. Try and get your eye contact. But as soon as you contact him, he couldn't handle it. But this time he's looking at me and I'm looking at him. I can look at him and he's allowing it. And he wants me to call everybody, and he's talking to everybody and he's calling them by names. And that was half an hour after. Just when he woke up a different person. He was not in our world. It was like he was in a coma before. He could hear everything, but he didn't know how to bring it out. And everything just started getting better and better. And it happened so fast. The only thing, he was extremely hyperactive. He was extremely aggressive.
He bit me. He pinched me. At one point, he bit my thigh. Thought he's going to take out a chunk and maybe I'm going to need like stitches. And I was so scared about the trip back home. But I was so excited that I could have a conversation. He could say things. He said, Mommy. I said, yes, Warren. He said, I'm thirsty. Who taught you that word?
So he knew.
Who told you to be thirsty? I said, Warren, I'm shocked. I'm scared. I don't know how to answer him or how to react, because it's like,
First time hearing it.
like, what do you want, Warren? Water. I gave him the water. He drank this bottle. He drank it, finished, put it on the floor, he trampled it up, he went to the bin, he put his leg on the lever, he threw it in the bin. He went to the toilet number 2 times for the first time in his life. Right?
And when we got back home, because we didn't train him enough, he stopped going. We tried again, but he still makes number 1 in the toilet. So this time I didn't want to potty train him. I said, I want to put the effort in after we come here. And now from yesterday to today, I have so much to say.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to leave that for the next time.
Yeah.
But ever since then, Warren's words come from, he's got a dictionary. Because we don't teach him those things. He knows, he picks up everything. He makes conversations about just about the water, just about the dog, sun, moon. Oh, mommy, what is that? Where are we going? Where's daddy? So everything, you don't need to initiate a conversation with Warren. He initiates, he communicates, he is caring, he's so emotional if someone gets hurt. He's so good around kids. He's an autistic child in his neurotypical class, right? I don't know what you actually call it. He's regular class. But he's like the class monitor.
Oh, wow.
Because he will go to his teacher and he say, ma'am, and you give the child's name. You know, like, look there, the child's doing something wrong. He's the only child in the class that will say thank you to the caregiver for changing his diaper.
Wow.
The only child. From all the years that the teacher has been there, she said, this is the only child that ever says thank you each and every time. And he's pleased. Thank yous. All of that. I have regular children and they don't even use
Let me pause. Doc, did you add anything
special to, yeah?
Thank you and I'm sorry, please. Yeah,
Tell me about it. Tell me about that.
Because I happened to be in his school and the lunch aide was talking to his paral, the one who supports him, that Mr. Waters, I think this boy is the most respected boy in the whole school. The way he would say, please,
please,
you won't come. And the man was the woman that didn't know me. So you know that, oh, it's Miss Appel's son. She was like, really? Right from there, she came to my class and she was like, oh, it's Kwabena, your son. I was like, oh my goodness, this boy is so respectful.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So I was just asking, do you add anything like that?
Thank you, man. Please, and then please, and their stem cells.
Yes,
I'm sorry. And they have those emotions. Do you know that when he was crying at school and I get to know myself, one day he cried so much. I was in the next class and I tested the teacher that, you want me to come and calm him down? Not saying I shouldn't have done that. So she reported to the principal and the principal called me. Not saying she also went through series of, so she understands what is happening. And she was like, don't worry, we will help you. But please don't ask that question again. If you hear anything, don't think that they are doing anything to your son. I said, no. But I was so embarrassed. And the sad part was, the class I was teaching, a small girl, like they have 3 first graders. So we have 2 regular and the co-tots. You get it? So that child in that regular class, I was like, this boy crying, do you know him? He was like, oh, this boy, he always cries. And I was so down. I was so sad. So when we came home, I sat him down and put a chair in front of him in the room. I locked it. I said, Kobe, why? I started crying. Oh, mommy, please don't cry. I'm sorry. I'll not do that again. Like, in his words, he speaks, but it isn't clear,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
I won't change it to anything. Mommy, I'm sorry. I started crying. I made sure he could see my tears. Said, something? If you do this, you make me sad. And he was so emotional. He cried.
that he's not going to do that again. Said, when you go to school, go and tell your teachers that you are sorry. It won't happen again. And I happened to be in the same class I went the other day.
So when I went, we all went in. He was like, "Oh, Miss Crocker, Miss Jemai, I'm sorry. I will not do that again."
And they would say, okay. The next minute he was crying.
The next minute he was crying.
The next minute because he raised his hand, they didn't call him.
Because he raised his hand and
Yeah.
they didn't
So
pick him up.
like they understand emotion. When his brother gets boo-boo, he was like, "Oh, you get a boo-boo, I'm sorry."
Aw.
Like,
And
so cute,
he
you
also
know?
watches a lot of these videos where they have boo-boos. And
Yeah.
if he sees I'm upset about something, because my oldest is doing his last grade,
Mm.
we butt heads a lot.
So he'll say, "Mommy, what's wrong? Mommy, what's wrong? What's wrong, Mommy?"
See, he said
His expressions are, you must just stand. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see how much he's changed from where he was to where he's come. We've never thought, we forget those days that he couldn't talk.
And you said sleep. Sleep was
Sleep. Oh, since we left India, he sleeps anytime from 7 to 7:30.
Okay.
So recently, for the past 2 weeks, his sleep was a bit later. He's been dysregulated a bit because we had interrupted his routine of going to school. So he starts sleeping a bit later. Like, we didn't want his immune system to be low if he caught any infection. So I stopped him from going to school. I continued with the therapy because those are one-on-ones. So it's safer. Mm.
So they started going sleep a bit later.
Yes, yes.
So Kwabena, so after you went back, you said he started.
So that the history, we are continuing with the history.
Yes.
He went to school on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and he brought home Hegeri Hero. That means he did so well. Like getting an award in school for being the best student in that class at that day. I posted it and I was like, God is not done with me yet. There is more to talk about. So my auntie was like, she was so curious to know. And that Monday, I told my mind to her. I cut him off. So we are talking, she's my mom. But I didn't want her to be so... All what she wanted to know was,
Oh, it didn't work. I told you shouldn't have gone to spend all this, your time, your energy, your money. But so I just hide my son from him so that he wouldn't see what goes on. And when he came, like she came to our house, she was like, oh, it's improving. I didn't talk. I just walked to my room because I didn't have time to explain all what has gone through to her, because she discouraged me, because she wanted me to go through what I was going through. Not because that's what she wants, but she doubted it, you know.
So tell everyone, what is the improvements that you have seen?
So let me talk to you parents. I posted NeuroGen on my WhatsApp status and I was like, Doug, thank you for all you do for frustrated moms. Parents, let me put it in that way. Like, you have given us hope. Hope. We won't bring our kids on social media and come and show them what they do, like, get money from them. Like, that's what I'll put. That's what most of the people are doing now. For them to come and look for solutions, they think when they push their kids to social media, they'll get followers and other stuff. But don't sit there and think
God will do. God does, but you have to work.
God helps those
So
who help
that's-
themselves.
God will help you. Kobe is doing amazing. I didn't do much with therapies. I'm not going to boast. He gets just 30 minutes in a week for speech. because it's just in the school system. But I promised myself whilst I'm going, since it has helped, I didn't take it serious from the first time. But I'm going to add up all the therapies. But now, Doc, Kobe can write sentences, although some doesn't make sense. But he writes sentences. He is the best reader in his class.
Best
He
reader.
can read.
Which grade is he in?
First grade.
First grade.
First grade cohort. He can read, he can write, he can spell everything, memorizing.
Oof, don't
You know
even
that?
go there.
Like when we were coming with Air India, he sat at the window and not knowing he was looking down. I came, he had a paper and drew. He started with the water, added the boats or a ship, and I saw Air India. And mommy sitting at the window. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she showed it
like,
to me. The
fishes in the ocean. And a shark fishes and the shark asking the fishes, do you want a party?
Hey, this is
Do you want to have a
imagination.
party? Like imagination. My son can imagine and draw something. We even baffle. He go and stand in front of our house, then come and draw. Draw daddy sitting in front of his laptop. Draw, so he's good at drawing. Music, first he was singing and other stuff. And what helped was, Kobe, stop doing he. And the brothers were like the brothers put pressure on him. You know, he has two small brothers. Mommy, Kobe is doing he. Then the little one comes, Kobe, stop doing he. And you know, I don't even recognize when he stopped doing the he, the sing-songing. Because we put pressure on him, and now he has stopped.
Yes.
Vocal stimming.
The vocal stimming has stopped. And I just realized he stopped. Because the brothers will say, Kobe, stop doing he. Then they will come, Mommy, Kobe is doing he. And I said, if you do he, I'll beat you. I'll not take you to the Dollar Tree. I'll not take, like, I was trying to take things from him so that it could help him to stop. Kobe does so much. Dog, and probably when I did as my sister did, it could have been even better than, but I know it's not too late. For him, even adding sentences, Kobe can do math.
What level math?
Like plus and minuses. Although the last time he went for teacher parents conference, like he's medium for math, but for reading and spellings, he can spell, you know, every word you can give him, he can spell. Either memorizing or writing, he can. He reads, but for the speech, he has problem with pronunciation of the K, the D, and other stuff. So when he's reading and you look, you could see what he's like, you could know what he's trying to say, you know, and it's amazing. The hyperactiveness is 0.
Gone, 0.
It's 0.
Can't
He's not
remember.
hyper. Now he helps his brothers to even dress up. Like,
Wow.
can I help you, Kwame? Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, but now the problem I have is the emotional, as I always talk about. Like, he's so emotional. And then the brother will tell, oh, I'll not take you to Dollar Tree. How can you tell your brother that you not take him to the Dollar Tree? Then Kobe will be crying because his kid brother says he will not take him to the Dollar Tree.
Okay.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah, so that is the problem I have for now. Kobe follows normal routine. He knows that he gets up in the morning, brush his teeth. I helped him because for teeth you have to.
Yes,
Then
yes.
bathing, he bath himself. He goes to toilet and clean himself. That is the amazing thing he has been doing of late. He follow his normal routine, put on his dress up himself, go and monitor his bus from the window because it's cold. Then when the bus come, we help him go take the bus, go to school, follow the normal route, then come back home. And it's amazing. So you have to come. Like, we are not advertising for NeuroGen. No. We are advertising for our kids. We want you to know how you'll be comfortable, because getting this kids, if Kobe was the same as Kobe, dog, like I'm dead. Sometimes I become so down that I don't know what to do.
So, what about his interaction with his brothers?
So,
Do they play together?
yeah, he plays with the brothers, he interacts, and verbally he speaks to them. But for we the elderly, he thinks that we will put pressure on him because he doesn't have much to say. Do you get it? So, when you introduce the conversation, he started to answer 1, 2, 3, then he started to run away or get frustrated because probably when you ask how are you, what's happening in school, he's not going to be able to express himself, but he knows what went on, express himself. And one day now I know the teachers, so I was like, who is your music teacher? He mentioned. Who is this? He was able to mention all the teachers and I didn't know he knew that. I never knew he knew that. Not knowing they know so much, but because they are not able to express themselves, we think our kids don't know anything. So the stem cell, dog, why stem cell? Like why? How did you get to know this? And how long have you known this? And why my son is just 6 years and I'm now getting to know this?
So, NeuroGen has been in function for more than 15 years or 16 years now. Before that, Dr. Sharma, who is the director, is a neurosurgeon, and he because he's a neurosurgeon and he does surgeries, he found that even after fixing the spine or the brain, the individual is still unable to stand and walk. So he started looking at how does regenerative medicine work. So about 15-20 years of research even before NeuroGen started. Myself, I also worked on looking at brain development. How does the brain develop? And that's where we use stem cells to study the brain development. And that's where our faith in the possibility that brain can regenerate.
Yeah.
See, the first concept, a very age-old concept, is that once the brain is damaged, it cannot regenerate. And that's where we are still stuck in very old times. But we have moved so far away in the last 15-16 years that there are amazing possibilities. Now, we started with adults, and then we saw that even adults who have understanding issues improved. Then we started looking at children. We started doing brain scans to see. Nobody did brain scans for children with autism. Very few, not even an MRI. So we looked at MRI. We looked at functional scan. We found that MRI is broadly normal, so structure is all fine. Then we looked at what is functionally low, and we identified those areas. We published those papers, and then we found that the understanding improves, the higher function improves, and we must have treated almost 6,500 to 7,000 children only with autism in the last 15 years. We treat all kinds of neurological conditions, including cerebral palsy, intellectual disability. Now, why do you not know? Because yes, doctors do not accept it. I'm sure you can talk about that, whether your doctor accepted it, or how supportive were your doctors when you talked to them?
So I had one doctor who was supportive of it, but unfortunately, if they go out and say things, they might lose their practicing license. But he was all for it because he saw results in a child that he is treating. He said, just go, stem cells, nothing else, stem cells. And I even called him and asked him for my Fit to Fly for baby, and he was all for it. Wonderful doctor. I always thought of him whenever I was making my bookings, and if it wasn't for him, I may not have been here, but I know I'm strong, I'm very feisty, I'm that go-getter. I will put my hand out and reach for help if I want something. I will not sit there and wait for someone to hand me something. And even if someone just hands me something and I feel it's going to help, I will still take it, because if you don't ask, you won't know.
Yeah.
It's like you asked doctor a question now. We would have not known if we didn't ask.
Exactly. So, yes, many doctors do not recommend, but there are few doctors. Like there is a doctor in Kenya, who's a pediatrician. As soon as he diagnoses, if he finds a child who's come to him with autism, he gives them this option that go to India.
To the point, doctor, that our Warren's neurodevelopmental ped called me and asked me, what's the name of the place you went?
Okay.
Now you want to know why? Let me tell you why, right? So when I went back from here, I saw so much of results. But before I came here, I made an appointment with them to say, I'm leaving on this day, I'm coming back on this day, but I'm coming with all the reports and you're going to read it and tell me if this thing is a scam.
Sure, absolutely.
Right? So I need you to tell me what's going on here. So when I went back, still I had that appointment. You can't just cancel within a certain period. So I took all the reports, everything, and I went there. She didn't want the reports. She just took the CDs, the discs. She gave it to one of our head radiologists or radiographers or whatever. And they assessed it and they gave me a report. They said they found some white specks or something on the baby's brain. And yes, he is autistic. And this is what they see is low functioning and whatever. So obviously I couldn't understand most of the terms. And I said, okay, fine. But now let me go and see now in the next report, because they don't know what changes I've seen in my baby. They don't know what I'm not seeing in my baby. Right? Came here. When you left that room, I cried. I phoned my husband and I was like, I didn't sleep from Saturday. I'm exhausted. My body was shaking. And then when it stopped shaking, my whole neck got sore as though I was doing exercise. Because I was so sleep deprived. But when you came to the room, I was like, all our hard work. I was so happy. All that sleepless nights, it didn't go in vain. This is what the doctor came. She read the report and she's saying, everything has improved in Warren's brain. And this part of his brain has not improved so dramatically, I was like, because those people are doing our scans and PET scans, they don't know what we're experiencing with our child. So even if they want to enhance any scans, they don't know which parts to enhance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Warren has progressed in every part. And I said, Dr. Nandini, what's this part that's not progressing so much? What is it responsible for? She said, his fine motor skills. I said, you know what? I have lacked on developing him because we were so excited that we could understand him and we could communicate and he could do so much of things that we didn't put that much effort into him, into his fine motor. So, as you said, it's not a scam.
Yeah.
It's not a scam. What you're putting to our kids, I just want to commend you. I've done so before. Your team, from your staff in your hospital to wherever, to the other hospitals, and the way you all work, you're like worker bees, Y'all are so organized. I have not seen it anywhere else. I have not seen this much of organization anywhere else. I'm not sure if you have seen it. Yeah. Like with the transport and the kitchen and, every single thing, even to the cleaning staff and anything you need, it's there. All you got to do is just ask. And, but I always said, your people laughed at me and they said, look, her results are very rare. Because she's telling you all now about stem cells. Well, they're asking, so I'm telling. If you don't ask, I can't tell. So don't think it's some miracle treatment because it's very rare cases. Now, very rare cases is because the parents are not doing the work they're supposed to do when they go home, right?
Yeah.
That's one. So yes, for me, it's some kind of miracle because I put in the work. So the kind of results I'm seeing and you haven't seen, it's miraculous for me.
Yeah.
And for you. You have put in the effort.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are strong moms. We defy the odds. We have so much to do, but we don't, we communicate. I will never not answer Warren. Warren was on YouTube and he came, Mommy, I want cocket. I was like, huh? Because he doesn't eat chocolate and all of these things. He's not interested in all of that. It was boiling hot this day. I took him to the shop. I said, go see what you want. Cocket. He went, he took the chocolate.
Okay.
Brought it home. It was melted with the heat. It was melted. He didn't eat it, but he knew. I took him to show him, to identify the words he's saying, to encourage him. And then again he saw, Mommy, I want candy. We say sweets, right? I took him. We bought the sweet. He came home. He likes certain things he'll eat. But it doesn't make him hyperactive because ever since 3 weeks after stem cells, as I said, we really struggled with the hyperactivity, but we did not medicate him to calm him down. We stuck it out. He's been the most calmest child.
It's true.
So
It's true. They should come and also experience because our kids, all what I think about is I've worked in a group home before. And you was in a group home setting, we are immigrants. All what I was asking myself when I got to know about Kobe's problem was, if I'm dead, does it mean my son will be in the group
same
home?
thing.
Because he is not going to return to Ghana. This is where we are now. And what are you going to do to help your child not to be in a group home? I'm not expecting my son to be a lawyer, a doctor, or anything big. But normal daily living, he can do something for himself.
Absolutely.
Be okay. Go to work and decide on what to do.
True.
That's all what I want for my son.
Absolutely. So, in fact, as you said, I want parents to understand that do not compare your child to other children.
Yes.
Your child has his own speciality. They have their own powers. And increasingly, we are
That's
seeing
why I
that.
said it's a whole spectrum.
Yes.
Everyone has his own.
Look at the potential and empower that child. As you said, address their curiosity, teach them what is independent living, teach them how to be a good human being.
Yes.
That's very
her
important.
son's doing so well in arts.
Right.
Warren's 3, he's building Legos as though it's like architectural structures. Like you can see the roofs, you can see
Right.
the
entrances, the
It's-
windows.
I'm telling you, his teacher, they usually break off the buildings
Mm.
because they need to pack up.
Right.
She kept those structures and she
Mm.
said, I have to show you this.
Amazing.
I have to show you this. This is what Warren does. And when I left NeuroGen, I bought some cards as advised by the therapist, and I took it back home and I gave it to his therapist and I gave it to his teacher because, they would teach me how to do it, right? So they took it, and then she says, you know what? I got 2 months ago. Got to give you back these cards you gave because there's nothing more I can do. What do you mean now? She's like, the child knows everything.
So I went home and I didn't know whether to believe her or not. So I gave it to my husband and he asked him, and he knew everything. He knew all the animals. He knows all these numbers. He can count from 1 to 20.
And he's 3.5 years old.
3.5. He can 1 from 20. His alphabets right to now I know my ABCs. He knows everything. I feel like his level of understanding is more mature than children of his age, right? It's just that they can't express or communicate it too much or too clearly, but they understand so much better. And like if I ask him to do anything, to follow instructions, he knows how to do it. My 17-year-old still doesn't know where I keep certain things in the house. If I say, excuse me, Warren, go bring toilet paper and come. He knows where it is and he'll go bring it and he'll come.
He's so observant.
He's observant. He's independent. He wanted eggs all of a sudden. He's a picky eater, so before stem cells, he had anxiety. You couldn't approach him. You couldn't eat near him or offer him something. He'll melt down. He'll break down. He'll have anxiety to even see something new. And so he asked me for eggs. So I took him, we scrambled the eggs. He did it himself. I have videos I may show you. And he scrambled the eggs and he had it in his plate. I said one time, let me put a Vienna there and try. So I gave him a fork and he picked it up. He's saying, eggs, sausage. He's showing me. We're having a conversation and then I said, taste it. He put his tongue there and he tasted it. And do you know, the fact that he's showing interest, the fact that he can even be near it, it shows that there is room for improvement.
Yeah.
He says constantly burger, pizza. So we buy the burger.
Yeah.
And now, before you couldn't approach him, now he holds it and playfully you go as close to it as possible. So one night I was recording him and I said, "Why don't taste it?" And he put his tongue and he tasted it. He said, yummy. But he didn't eat it yet.
Yeah.
But that's a process because of sensory. But his sensory has improved so much because Warren would not use clothes at all. And he would not use shoes at all. And, you know, sometimes we take him to nice places and we couldn't even really go because you can't take a child in a diaper.
Yeah.
And Warren wears a full set of clothes, shoes. Sometimes he wants socks. He asked not long ago for a hat. So I gave him a hat and he put 2 hats on. And to at least those daily things in life that should be normal, like putting clothes on, using clothes and all of that. It makes such a big difference in our lives because somebody would think that's something so small, it shouldn't matter. But they don't realize how stressful it is when we can't do it. And there's no way we can do it because you can't even put that vest over them. They can't even walk in sand. They can't even do stuff. And life seems so normal now. Stem cells has given us a new lease of life.
Yeah.
Like I was reborn. You know, I was a different person before stem cells. And now I'm happier. I cry because I'm emotional to think where I've come from.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I forget where I come from. I forget because I choose to forget how hard it was. And I must tell you, I always said, I took so much of videos of Warren before he came to NeuroGen. And we brought to India a different cell phone because my husband wasn't coming and he needed to use my phone for some work purposes. So all the videos when I went back home, even what I had on all the other phones, I put it on one phone just for safekeeping because I can already see changes now. A week later, the phone slips from Warren's hand because previously he would throw things. Now he doesn't do all of that. And the phone, just as I was giving him, it slipped and it fell. In order for them to fix it, they needed to wipe the phone. So I said to myself, you know what? Maybe this is a reason. Maybe I must not remember all that bad because everything is good now. He's normal. He's almost normal.
Yes,
he's
I'm here in NeuroGen. Every parent asks me, he went to one of his therapies in the morning and everybody was turning and looking at him.
Yeah.
The parents asked me, what is his problem? Like maybe he's got like some degenerative muscle or something, not like autism. Like, no, he's fine because I said, Warren, come, you must take your shoes off. He bent down, he opened his strap and he took it out with his legs. And one dad next to me was like, you're such a good boy. Now what's wrong with him? I was like, no, he's also autistic. It's like, you can't say.
Come a long way.
He's come a long way. He's come a long way, but with a lot of hard work. Constant hard work. You don't think, oh, I'm paying so much of money. This NeuroGen needs to fix my child. No, I will use an example that I said before. You have a car lying there and it's dead. Put in an engine. It's not going to move itself. You need a driver.
Yeah.
Now, a parent is that driver. It needs to move that child. So, parents, please, if anything you can take after going home, when you do stem cells, the doctors tell you clearly you need therapy. You need constant reinforcement, rehabilitation, you know. Please focus more on that, especially at home. Even if you can't afford the therapy, try and Google. Google shows us a lot of ways to stimulate our child, but do it at home. We have access to rice and texture and simple things like flour, make dough and use those things. But if you don't try, you're not going to get the results. And then you're going to go and complain to people like me that, oh, it's not a miracle.
Yeah.
When in fact, you can cause a miracle. You as a parent can make the change.
Absolutely. It's a creative parenting.
If the child's brain is now active after stem cells and there's nobody stimulating it, he's going to be in a corner on his iPad stunted, then he's not going to learn anything new. You know, you say the brain is like a sponge now, it's absorbing. So give it something to absorb. You can't let it be dry. Put in that effort. Be constant about it. I talk to my child all the time. Everybody in our household never leaves him unattended to. Now it's peaceful because, we can leave him a little bit unattended to, where we don't have to run and watch. He's not causing any harm to himself or hurting himself. But if he approaches us and we constantly approach him, in fact, we're so bad that we force ourselves onto him to make sure we get the best out of this treatment. We force the situation. We are stern. We are firm. It was you can say, it's an aggressive now treatment. We also need to be aggressive as parents. We can't sit back and be so relaxed and expect everybody and everything to do the work for us. No, we got to do the work.
I couldn't have said it better.
We have to do the work.
Yes.
Emotional.
You want to add something to that?
It's emotional. All of what I want to say is Thanksgiving. Like, at least we have the hope. There is hope that all is not lost. And the little we shouldn't think about the monetary issue, because money can't do anything. This amount I came to pay, if it then, probably it would have been used for something that is not even, you can't even relate it to this. And you still go into that same stress you are going through. After paying this and your son or your child is independent, the happiness, the stress-free you get in it is something that you can't exchange with anything.
Any amount in this world.
Anything. So parents, I always say that we are not advertising for NeuroGen. We are advertising for the frustrated parents. There is hope. Come and see it for yourself. We are saying ours, and it's a whole spectrum. The more you put hard work, the more you get that achievable goal you have set for yourself. And we are thankful to you. All your workers, they are so loving, anytime you say Jack, they are there to help you. As I'm talking to you now, I left my son to go out there, and someone is seated right. Where?
It's so peace. You've got peace of mind, And
so
the peace of mind you get from this.
God bless you for all you do for us.
Thank you so much. I think as parents would like to know about side effects. We keep on talking about it. What is possible, what is not. What has been your experience? 2 treatments now.
Hyperactivity, because you can't have hyperactivity or no hyperactivity with active brain, right? Your brain is active. That's how I put it. I don't know whether there's any fact to it, right? But I always think about things logically, fact or no fact. I feel like the brain is active, so you must expect an active child, some activity, because your brain is responsible for your hands, legs, the way you jump, the way you talk. Now, if the brain is constantly moving...
Probably that's not what they are talking about. Maybe how you brought him and how he is now. I would say my hyperactiveness is 0.
Mine is 0.
Yeah.
Mine is 0. I'm talking about the side effect, the after effect. I had 3 weeks of very bad hyperactivity.
Yes.
I was prescribed Respirodol.
Okay.
I am against any medication.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's, doctor, any truth or any fact to what I feel, because obviously I did not research all of this, but maybe y'all can do the research. I have not medicated my child to calm down in any way.
Okay.
I stuck it out. It's difficult. But when you see the improvement with the speech and you see all those things he never did before, you say, what is hyperactivity?
It's nothing.
It's nothing. But I felt like if I'm going to give him something to calm him down, what if it slows down his now active brain?
Yeah.
Now the active brain will absorb what's going in and now you're calming the brain and the brain is sleeping, it might affect its ability to absorb and learn faster. So I opted not to medicate.
That's a very good thought. So I agree to some extent that, we also try and avoid antipsychotics or risperidone as much as possible. So as you said, you decided to stick it out, but most parents are unable to handle their children and accept that
Working
they
and
can
things,
increase
yeah.
hyperactivity.
Some kids are so like not them like someone who is savage. Those people I know back in our school, they need it.
So when it's unmanageable, yes,
Mhm.
but yes, try other ways such as physical activity, working on
Massages.
diet, massages, yes, supplements,
Some therapeutic.
magnesium.
What helps me a lot is some nice calming music. Like my
Music,
boy, ever since he was young, Kenny G.
Okay.
Kenny G is Warren's uncle, Kenny G. He knows Kenny G. So nice classical, calming, soothing music, I think can calm any child with the, even if a child has a meltdown, take them, put them in a quiet room, no disturbance, put that music on, maybe you'll see a difference.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So little hyperactivity, in fact, we say it's a good thing. That means the brain is getting activated.
Yes.
Look for improvements below the hyperactivity, because if you keep constantly focusing on the hyperactivity, you will miss all those improvements which are below. So yes, we do keep on counseling, but it will be good for parents to say just
Yes.
just
No,
like you
but
said.
I'm pretty sure that there's more parents that have seen the results we've seen.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we don't get to see those parents because there's a stigma
Yes.
about,
Yes.
oh, my child is autistic. I don't care. I will tell it to the world because I did something
You've seen an improvement.
extraordinary that this child that was autistic can now look at me in the eye, can now call me mommy, can now tell me what he needs. When you said there's no cure.
Yeah.
So I don't care if the whole world knows that my child.
If a child is autistic and he does almost everything as a normal child, don't you even fall in love with him or her?
Absolutely.
Yes. Because how can an autistic, and there is a skill, they skill kids on this spectrum. So if someone is not doing and your autistic child is doing, like I watch videos and I sometimes fall in love. I wish that child was my son.
Like maybe in our countries as well. Sorry to disturb you. I'm just thinking if this is going out there, it needs to go out there because the parents are not talking because of stigma.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
If the parents open up and say these things, maybe we wouldn't have to travel so far to India.
No.
I mean, our countries would be more comfortable doing this, learn more about it. So we do have stem cells treatment in South Africa, in places like Pretoria and all of that. Some of them are doing it for autism and most of them are doing it for like cancer, leukemia and things like that. But the ones that are doing it for autism, like how much of research have they done? How are they doing the procedure? Are they giving the graft injection to increase the cells? Are they giving you HBOT to assist the growth of the stem cell? Are they giving you ozone to give you a clean gut and a good environment for the stem cells to survive because cells can die? Cells die all the time. So are they giving you all of that there, or they're just putting in stem cells and whether it survives, it survives, whether it dies, it dies. But the money is going. The money is there. So that's why even me knowing that there's something available in my country, I came to the best. I traveled many hours to be here with an autistic, hyperactive child on a plane. I went back with a hyperactive child. I got delayed in the airport. I broke down crying. But when I went home, when I experienced results, I forget about all of that. It brings so much of joy that I feel so proud of myself. You know, we never ever take recognition. We never ever take recognition, but we should be proud of ourselves.
Kudos to you. And what you had asked, and taking a cue from what Anivira said, that why did I not know in the 6 years? Why am I coming to know about cell
Yes.
therapy now? Especially exactly
Because of
what you
parents,
said.
stigma.
Because they don't speak out.
Yeah.
More
You don't
parents
want-
need to
Talk.
speak out, not
you
keep
have
it to
to
themselves.
talk.
That's why when people hear about NeuroGen, oh, but I never heard, so many thousand people went, must be it's a scam, must be it doesn't work. I can guarantee you, I'm coming here after 15, how many years you say? Of
50, yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
We can't be the first patients to experience this. We cannot be the first patients in 15 years to experience results
Yeah.
like this. Definitely not.
No.
Parents,
They are not
speak up. Our children, we have millions of children around the world that have autism. We feel
7,000 plus kids.
so hurt
Yes.
to know some people can't afford to travel so far.
Right.
Let this go worldwide.
Worldwide.
Let it be available to our kids.
It's true.
Go and speak
All
to your
kids, cerebral
doctors.
palsies,
Yes.
everything,
Go and
leukemia.
speak to your doctors.
Yeah.
Go and speak to your government. Show them that this is possible.
And I know that you guys have been shut down, like
Yes.
shunned for many years and
Yes.
lots of times. But
Yes.
this
perceive it because
treatment
we
needs to go worldwide.
Yes.
You all need to teach people in other countries how to do it the right way, because it's been done. But I
Yes.
can guarantee you it's not being done the right way.
Yes. So it is our dream actually that as soon as a child is diagnosed with autism, should do the cell therapy, do the hyperbaric oxygen intensive rehabilitation, and come off the spectrum. And we
Yeah.
believe this is possible, as is happening in
It
Lauren's
is.
case, as
It
is happening in
is.
Kobana's.
It
And we
is.
have so many children in Kenya. As I told you, there's a pediatrician. As soon as anybody comes to him, he gives them this option. Of course, it's finally the parents'
Yeah.
call to take it. And we have had so many children in Kenya who are now of the spectrum going to school.
Mm.
So, and yes, some of them talk, some of them do not.
I've noticed children who were here in October and that are still here,
Hmm.
and there's major difference.
Yes.
There's major
Yes.
difference. A lot of Kenyan children.
Yes.
And we meet and I see them and it's amazing.
Right. It's amazing. And that's why we are still on, because despite so much of, antagonism, so much of negativity, and as I said, we were shut down for about a week because of wrong
Okay.
wrong decisions by the local authorities. But the parents are the one actually who spoke up for us, spoke up
So
for us and
cool.
signed petitions, and so the strength of the parents is huge. You can do it for your child, you can do it for thousands of children
That's it.
out there. If you speak up and you speak up about the positivity, because it's very easy to talk about negatives.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And
So,
most of
that
the groups you
goes-
talk about negatives, but it's very difficult to hold on to that positivity and
Yeah.
tell people that your
Those
child can be helped.
doctors in the United States, they wish. I talked to the pediatrician, although I don't want to involve them in this. I don't want to, but I was like, "Do you know stem cell therapy for autism?" He said, "Yes, it's good, but all what she said was she's a Chinese, but insurance doesn't cover." I said, "Okay,
You're right.
How many shots have your
this
been?
is my second."
Second.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my
But
second as well.
I have been off for like a year and a half.
Year and a half.
So we're doing it in a period of 6 months. It's 6 months now.
No, a year and a half.
Yeah.
He's come after a year and a half.
A year and a half. And you still have
And
those
I was
constant
pregnant
results?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's improved.
Good.
Still
Yeah,
improving.
he has so much improved. Now he can be on his own
Mhm.
Yes.
for
He was
hours.
so hyperactive.
He's only
right?
3 and yes, he still can be on his own.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so dog, like it's good, but the insurance doesn't cover. And I
Yes.
said, okay,
Mhm.
for you telling me it's good,
Mhm.
that's all what I need.
Right.
Insurance, no insurance, we will find our way through. And here we are having good testimonies about,
There is
God
nothing
is
to say. Like God is
God
good.
has
Like
sent us angels.
mhm.
Absolutely.
It's true.
Absolutely.
You know,
Because looking at our kids, look at my Kobe, very big, handsome guy, and being on the spectrum without
how difficult it must be for them to try and fit in and be
Yeah.
normal.
Right.
But I'm very thankful to Dr. Alok Sharma, yourself, your team, Dr. Himangi. Again, I
always say when I discuss y'all, even when we meet y'all, you're like angelic. Y'all, God put angels on earth for us, for these angels to guide them, to help them. And I don't think any thanks in this world would match up to what y'all deserve.
It's your blessings and your prayers so that we can continue to help more and more children is all that we need, and the support, and speak out. I think speak out more. Speak out about, what's possible. Show the world that, there are so many of individuals who are amazing despite or because of their autism. Bill Gates talks about he was not diagnosed, but he has all the features even now of autism, and you look at what he's done. Elon Musk and what he's done. Uncle Grandin. So there are so many individuals. We want all our children to be that. We want, they're only 10% of the spectrum, but we want the 90% who's not been able to reach that to be able to do all of that. And
thank you so much, Doctor.
Autism superpowers, and more power to moms like you.
Yes.
More powers, and may God give you strength to take your children to that amazing height where they can be leaders in the community.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this discussion. It was so amazing, so heartfelt, and I hope it reaches out to many.
I want to hear so many more
Yeah.
positives from parents, because they will put in the work now and they will see the results.
Amen to that.
Yeah. I wish I could have it, then we'll be sharing to people who don't have any idea on all these things.
Yes. Through you, through your voice, it's going to reach to many. And thank you so much,
Thank
Rose,
you,
and
Dr.
thank you so much,
Nandini.
Annie.
Thank you.
And may God bless you and Warren and Kwabena, and thank you. Have a
You too.
amazing year.
All right.
Thank you.